Hey, good afternoon again. I was opening up our midday phone report, and it reminded me that I had a conversation with one of you this week during our one-on-one, and you brought up the question, "Hey James, what are you looking for whenever you open up a phone report?" While sending this out, I thought it would be good to give you just a quick snapshot of what it is that I take a look at. Um, Obviously, you get this typically in the mornings and then midday. What it does is it's a report that takes a snapshot of our phone activity for the day. So let me just blow this up just a little bit. I'm really just taking a look at a couple of columns in here. One, the midday report is sent out. It's captured at noon Central Time. You can see the date and when it was ran, 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. over here, and it sends it out, and it's a snapshot in time, and it shows us our activity through 12 p.m. Uh, Central Standard Time. So it lists, and you can see your extensions over here on the left-hand side. So if you're logged in for the day or you have an ID associated with your name, it is put there. It has a list of ACD calls. So ACD calls are the 800 number calls that come in. They're randomly routed to you, and as you pick them up, you can see how many calls that you pick up. Not really paying attention to that as much. I do look at the total volume to see how much inbound traffic we have coming. But as most of you know, a lot of that inbound traffic is teachers looking for employment, directing parents, and so forth. It's not as much marketing activity um, as that number may, we may think that number suggests. So I just take a look to see as that number, increases and decreases over time. Non-ACD calls are typically extension calls coming directly into your phone line. Um, and then One I pay attention to are your calls outbound, right? So these are outbound phone calls made from your extension. These are the ones that we ask you to make, 50 outbound phone calls a day, or 3 hours of phone time. So as you can see here, I go through and take a look and see Jamal's got 16 calls, Renee's got 4, Alita's got 11, Lindsay's got 7, 27 for Anna, and so forth. So it gives us a quick snapshot of where we're at for the day, right? If I'm looking at this, I think Renee's going to be, she's going to have a busy afternoon to get to 50. Anna spent quite a bit of time on the phone this morning. And then there's some additional columns over here, calls requeued, account codes, so forth. Not really paying too much of attention to those as we don't have a lot of calls that we're requeuing and so forth. Total shift time. This shows this starts when you log into your phone in the morning and then when you log off. So Jamal looks like has been logged into his phone for 3 hours 18 minutes. It then breaks out some times of the phone calls. So ACD calls, we see he took one ACD call. Again, that ACD call is someone calling to the 800 number, and he was on the phone with them for 1 minute and 27 seconds. Shows the average time and then the percent of the shift. Again, ACD, I'm not as worried about at this time. Um, I will take a look to see how much non-ACD time, so extension calls, folks are calling you, direct extension. But for this report, really the two most important things that I'm looking at are one are these calls outbound, right, where we see the 50 calls a day, and then also how much time you're spending on those outbound phone calls. So here I'll highlight this row. This shows how much time you've spent on the phone. So Jamal has been on the phone for 13 minutes on outbound phone calls, Renee for a little over an hour, Alita over an hour, Lindsay over an hour, and so forth. So you can see right here how much time has been spent on the phone, and then here's a good breakout. And one of the things that I look at is how long are those average phone calls, right? So Jamal's average phone call today has been 50 seconds, where Renee's has been 15 minutes. Alita's is 6 minutes, 9 minutes. So it looks like there's probably been some conference calls or some demos or whatever going on to get those numbers up. We definitely would like to see an average of greater than 2 minutes on those calls, but that helps give kind of a gauge of, are we just getting voicemail, or are we actually connecting with people? So, um, and I think I would be, or I know I would be happy with 50 phone calls here each day, or you either give me 50 phone calls or give me a total of 3 hours outbound. And those are obviously focused on quality calls. We're not focused just on the numbers. We want you to be connecting and talking with people. Therefore, if you can connect and talk and have great quality conversations and get 3 hours on the phone with our customers, then that's definitely just as good as getting 50 outbound impressions. So very important that we're making the phone calls. Here's just a quick snapshot of one of the tools that we use to help keep us on track and to measure our success. So hopefully that gives you a little bit better understanding. If you have questions, just let one of us know. Thanks, and we'll be talking to you soon.